Good evening, I'm Gerg Cahiles in for Pinky Web. Tonight, we ask the questions, we tackle the issues, we clarify matters, and we get on point. Uphold the rule of law by proceeding with Vice President Sara Duterte's impeachment trial. That's the reply of the House Prosecution to the Vice President's answer at Cautelam. It is asking the Senate Impeachment Court to deny the dismissal of the articles of impeachment sought by Duterte. Should there be another motion seeking the dismissal of the impeachment complaint, the House Prosecution is now considering elevating the matter before the Supreme Court. Let's get on point with political analyst Dennis Coronacion. Good evening, Prof.
Hi, good evening, Gerg.
Sir, balikan lang natin ng konti. Let's step back a little. The impeachment court now holds this jurisdiction over the impeachment case after it convened early this month, yung impeachment court. Kaya lang po, the unprecedented move was, of course, yung i-remand. Dito nag-start kasi na medyo nagkakaroon ng issue, nagkakagulo, i-remand. Now, it asked the House to, number one, certify that it did not violate the Constitution, and number two, the members of the 20th Congress are still willing to pursue the case. Ngayon po, while prosecutors seek to clarify what happened, nagpasa naman sila ng resolution, hindi po ba? Na sinasabi nila na wala naman silang na-violate sa Constitution. Pero, ang tanong ko po sa inyo, sa tingin niyo po ba ay gagawin nila yung second issue na gustong sagutin ng impeachment court sa kanila, ng Congress, which is, ipapursue nyo ba yung kaso sa 20th Congress? Sir.
Well, I think yung second issue can be addressed by the members of the 20th Congress, not the 90th Congress. Siguro ang nasagot ng 19th Congress was the first issue.
Yes.
Na kung may na-violate ba na provisions sa Constitution, particularly the one-year rule. So ang sagot nila, I think in that resolution is that walang na-violate. Now, I think hindi lang nasagot yung issue number 2 because ang dapat sumagot doon is that members of the 20th Congress.
But of course, meron kasi mga issues na maaaring may mag-challenge sa leadership ngayon ni House Speaker Martin Romualdez. Pero hindi pa natin, of course, nalalaman kung talaga bang matutuloy ito. May mga pangalan na lumulutang. So, pag nagbago po ba itong leadership sa House, ay maaaring hindi i-pursue yung kaso laban kay VP Sara?
Well, yes, of course. There's that possibility na kung sakaling magkaroon ng leadership change in the House of Representatives and say, for example, hypothetically speaking, the next Speaker of the House is pro-Sara o pro-Duterte, then that might be the agenda with regard to the impeachment complaint.
But with the floating name, sir, posible ba siya? We have Toby Tiangco and there's another one, si congressman from Iloilo.
Well,
Bacolod City, I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah.
Albi Benitez.
Yes. Si Congressman Toby Tiangco is known as an ally of President Bongbong Marcos. In fact, he served as the campaign manager of the presidential, or rather the administration bets. So, kung siya man, in case mangyayari yon, I don't think he's going against the impeachment. Yung follow-up or certifying na yung members of the House are still, wanting to pursue the impeachment complaint. I think the same goes with Congressman Benitez. I think pareho lang sila.
All right, that's good. But anyway, sir, well, the summons were already issued by the impeachment court and the Vice President already responded. Ano po? Ang sabi niya nga doon sa kanyang answer ad Cautelam, in essence, she's entering a not guilty plea. Tapos, sinabi pa niya na yung verified complaint is a scrap of paper. No? And at pinapadismiss niya nga yung impeachment raps against her. So, ano kayang sinasabi nito, sir? Why is she that confident about, things about the impeachment?
Well, unang-una, I think she is, kung gaman, she's anchoring her move to have the impeachment complaint dismissed based on technicalities. Yung nga yung ni-raise na una na na-violate ba yung one-year rule na na pwede ka mag-file ng
Yes.
second impeachment complaint or mga subsequent impeachment complaints. So more on technicalities ang binabanatan muna nila ngayon. But yeah, despite that, she's entering a non-guilty plea for the Now, what does it say? It says that she would like to kumaga she would like to contest kung ano man yung mga yung all the articles of impeachment laid down in the impeachment complaint, iko-contest niya yun.
Is this a way to drag on this process bago pumasok sa trial?
Well, it could be. Of course, it will have an impact on the period that's going to take sabi natin yung, either the House or the Senate in considering, the merits of the impeachment complaint.
And of course, asking the impeachment court to dismiss it, parang baka may yung confidence na baka may number siya. Meron mo ba siyang bilang sa ngayon to get that magic 12? Kasi sa ngayon, majority lang naman po, kung kakailanganing i-dismiss. Kasi it's not like acquittal or i-convict po siya, no?
We're talking of the votes of the senators.
Yes, sir. For the dismissal lang po muna.
Yeah, I think she has the numbers. We saw it the last time that they convened, diba, sa impeachment court. The number was 18-5. So it's possible that should there be a need to decide on that matter, it's possible that she can have a number close to that one.
So medyo kinakabahan ng ating mga prosecutors with this aspect, sir.
Mukha kasi kumbaga man, we're not on the merits yet. We're not talking about the merits yet, and yet there's already a move to have it dismissed.
Right. Anyway, speaking of dismissal po of this impeachment case, Senate President Escudero, the current presiding officer, said the Senate Impeachment Court can outrightly dismiss the case if most center judges wants to. Ano po kaya ang pahiwatig nito? Ano kayang mensahe na gustong ipadala o ibahagi ni SP Cheese?
Well, the same message that he conveyed when he was seen dragging dragging his feet when people were clamoring to have the impeachment trial started. Mag-start na tayo. Sabi niya, no, may sinasabi siyang so many legal bases and so many reasons. I think he's doing it again this time around para naman sa issue na to about the dismissal.
Pinaninindigan ba niya na ito dapat? Or meron pang iba kayong nababasa dito sa mga actions niya?
Well, I think he's just being realistic. Parang gusto niya sabihin sa publiko na, well, she has the numbers, so ano pa magagawa natin? We can look into the merits of the case, kaya nga lang we have to deal with the numbers first.
Kumbaga, i-manage yung expectations ng public.
Yes.
Ito yung kailangan nating abangan sa mga susunod na araw. Now, sir, magkakaroon ba ng political repercussions? Let's say, sabihin na natin, kung halimbawa lang na i-dismiss ng Senate Impeachment Court without hearing yun munang pieces of evidence na gustong ipresenta ng prosecution, in case they dismiss it, may malaking political repercussions po ba ito?
Yes, I think so. Alam mo, the thing about impeachment trials is that maaring spectator yung mga tao, yung publiko. Just like what we saw during the ERAP impeachment trial. I think a lot of Filipinos were tuned in every day, almost every day, dun sa impeachment trial. And then in the end, when the supposed envelope, the brown envelope that supposedly contained the evidence against the president was not opened through the voting of the senators, nagkaroon ng political repercussion. What took place was EDSA DOS. So in this case naman, itong mga senators natin should be cautioned by our history na kung sakaling their decision would go against the will of the public, baka in the next, kung di man, we're not even thinking of another EDSA.
Yes, of course. Oo.
Pero kung sakaling sa susunod na election by 2028, the people might remember what they did during the impeachment trial.
Ganun pa rin po ba kataas yung interest ng publiko sa usaping political, especially when we are experiencing economic issues, economic problems? Ganun pa rin po ba yung bigat ng interest ng publiko?
Well, interested ang publiko dyan. Kasi nga, so much is at stake. Number one, on the other hand, on one hand, we have the issue about accountability. Di ba? And then, on the other side, we have the issue of, sabihin na nating realpolitik. Kumbaga man, ang sabi nung isa, nung kabilang side, that this is just a a scheme to persecute the Duterte family.
Yes.
Tapos, and then they're also showing us the kind of numbers that they have, the kind of support that they have. So, interesting to, from the vantage point of the public, because so much is at stake. About sa governance, kung matutuloy ba ito, manungkulang bilang Vice President, what will that say about our political system?
And now that the House Prosecutors today asked the impeachment court to junk VP Sara's bid to dismiss the impeachment case as a response to the VP's answer at Cautelam. Yung argument po nila, Prof, of course, is yung severity ng kaso. Sana naman, pakinggan nyo kami at i-proceed natin sa trial. You think it's a fair request from the prosecutors to the impeachment court?
Yes, I think so. Kasi, tawag dito, tingin ko hindi naman nila ipupush yan kung wala naman sila nakita mga hard evidence that can be sufficient to convict the Vice President. So, tingin ko yung mga kasabihan ng mga lawyers and judges, give it a day in court. Diba? That's part of the due process. Ang tanong dito, hindi pa nga umaandar, wala pa yung due process, and yet, yung chance to have the Vice President heard. Because she's the accused here.
O kanina nga, yun yung tinatanong ko kay Prof kanina off-air, parang, bakit yata parang nag-drag on? Parang medyo humahaba na yung usapin, hindi pa tayo nagkakaroon ng trial. Ano pong ibig sabihin nito, Prof?
Well, it can only mean na parang ayaw ituloy. Di ba? Ayaw matuloy yung trial, and we don't know why. Probably the reason can be found in the evidence. Ano lang naman to, speculation. Kumbaga man yung ibang kasabihan na, kapag ayaw matuloy, maaring may ayaw ipakita.
Oo. Pero diba? Alam mo sa term ng mga Gen Z, pero itong si VP Sara, parang G naman siya. Na parang sinasabi niya na she's willing to face the issues, sasagutin niya, pero bakit iba yung nakikita natin?
Yun na nga, magkaiba ang sinasabi niya doon naman sa ginagawa niya. Sinasabi niya, nung una sabi niya, let's have a bloodbath. Diba? Tapos and yet, okay, sige, parang game siya. Tama ka, game na game. Pero ito nang halimbawa, nag-uumpisa na yung trial, pinakilala na yung mga lawyers niya, at yung lawyers niya, 16. Sabi nung iba, hindi kaya overkill to, no? So kung talagang hindi siya guilty, why does she need 16 lawyers to defend her? Diba?
Well, we'll continue our discussion after a short break with political analyst Dennis Coronacion. Stay tuned. This is On Point. You're still watching On Point, still with us, political analyst Dennis Coronacion. Prof, kanina bago tayo mag-break, binabanggit natin yung kanyang linya ng mga abogado. 16 lawyers. Ganun karami, sir. Sabi mo, posibleng, show of force ba ito? Ano bang ibig sabihin? Ba't ganun karaming lawyers ang kailangang humawak ng kaso niya?
Yeah, kasi kung ikukumpara natin siya sa mga dating mga nakaraang mga akusado sa mga dating impeachment trials, siya na yata may pinakamarami, historically. 16 lawyers, defense lawyers. So, ang tingin ko dito, the comment is that parang overkill. Sabi ko naman, no, I don't think it's an overkill. Kasi kung bibigyan naman ng trabaho, if there are 7 articles of impeachment, so magkakaroon ng division of labor, kung equal yung so tigilan sila bawat na magfo-focus sa bawat article of impeachment. Pero I think this also conveys something else, a strong message na kumbaga man ini-intimidate yung mga kalaban. At saka show of force, as you said. O parang ito, hindi to think, we're not just talking of the numbers. Tingnan natin yung background ng bawat lawyer. Anong mga law firms ang hinire nila. So, yung mga bigatin lang naman, mga legal luminaries to, mga abogado de campanilla.
At kung bigatin, sir, hindi mura ito.
Bigatin rin ang bayad.
And of course, syempre, I'm sure pinaghahandaan nilang mabuti ito. But Prof, another thing that somehow surprised us all is when the Ombudsman decided to look into the VP's alleged misuse of confidential funds. Ano po yung basa nyo dito?
Well, if you're going to look at the context, background of the Ombudsman, he's an appointee during the time of the former president. So we expect that he's going to be loyal to the Duterte family. Pero, yun nga, kahit ako nagulat rin na naging ganun ang may ganun siyang action because all the while we thought na the Ombudsman is going to protect the interests of the Duterte family all throughout. Pero ito, unprecedented ito, no? Kung ikukumpara mo doon sa kanyang action naman in the case of the former Cebu governor during the campaign period, wherein the Ombudsman suspended the governor of Cebu. So, nagkaroon ng impact yon doon sa turnout nung election sa Cebu.
That's true. But kaklaruhin lang po natin, sa tingin niyo po, this is loyalty to the former president na nag-appoint sa kanya o this is something else before he steps down next month?
It's hard to interpret. Hindi natin mabasa kung ano tumatakbo sa utak ni Ombudsman,
Oo.
I don't know. Mahirap sabihin.
Kasi may mga nagsasabi, Prof, na parang, bakit ang bilis naman? Kung sinabi mo noong 2024 na walang jurisdiction ng Ombudsman over these cases, given sa Ombudsman law, may sections 21 and 22, na sinasabi nga doon na parang exemption kapag impeachable official sa mga pwede mong imbestigahan. And at the same time, kung mag-investigate ka man, gagamitin to for an impeachment complaint. Which is hindi naman na yata yung kaso this time. So, ano kaya ang nagpabago sa isip ni Ombudsman Martires?
Actually, we can always give him the benefit of the doubt, di ba? Siyempre, we think of him as a person of integrity. Pero meron akong narinig na legal analysis na kung saan yung decision, yung action na yun ng Ombudsman will have an impact on the impeachment trial.
Exactly, opo.
So whichever comes out first, kung ano yung decision, magkakaroon ng impact sa isa't isa. I just don't know exactly the details.
Opo.
Pero mukhang may ganung aspeto yon.
Ito nga po kasi nabibigyan nga ng kulay kasi nga syempre Duterte appointee siya. And ito pong si incoming Congresswoman Laila de Lima. Binanggit po niya na she expressed her concerns because sabi niya that this may lead to the dismissal of the criminal complaint against Duterte which may undermine the results of the impeachment. Ano nga ba yon? Ito ba talaga ay may kinalaman sa impeachment o talagang tungkol sa accountability?
Well, ako I'm not a lawyer, pero since she's the expert, I think valid yung kanyang analysis na knowing the Duterte family, they're going to do everything to save themselves. So I think this is part of the ploy nga to contribute to the attempt to have the impeachment complaint dismissed.
So hahabulin to bago mag-step down si Ombudsman Martires next month.
I suppose.
Alright, anyway, let's talk about the Supreme Court na pinanggalingan din ni Ombudsman Martires. Siyempre, it will play a key role here. Kasi number one, may existing na request itong si VP Sara nga na linawin nyo kasi parang may one-year rule Bakit ako itatrial? And bakit kaya hindi pa umaakto ang Supreme Court dito para once and for all, malinawan na ang lahat. Kasi at the end of the day, sila rin naman ang may last say.
Again, it's hard to interpret kung ano naiisip ng mga Supreme Court justices natin. Pero at tingin ko dyan, gusto mo na bigyan ng chance sa Supreme Court yung ating legislative branch to do their jobs. Tapos, if the time is right, they're going to act on these petitions. Tingin kasi nila, parang it's premature to act on these petitions.
So, kailangan mangyari muna para malaman natin kung ano ba ang susunod na aksyon ng Supreme Court. Pero sabi nga dito, sabi ng mga prosecutors, kapag sakaling mag-contest na naman sa kanilang sagot sa reply ni VP Sara, iaakit na nila naman sa Supreme Court itong kanilang mga arguments, which could also, again, lead to another delay dito sa impeachment trial. Paano ba ito, Prof? Paano ba natin masusolusyonan itong problemang ito na wala pang trial, nagda-drag on na siya?
Ang tingin ko, of course, there are instances in the trial na kinakailangan yung Supreme Court na magsasalita, especially if it falls within the jurisdiction of the Supreme Court. Pero tingin ko, a large part of this issue, yung dragging on, can be addressed by having a very clear set of rules regarding the impeachment. I understand that they already have. Pero siguro, it's about time for them to come up with a set of impeachment rules, procedure, wherein lahat yan na-anticipate. Tapos may sagot sila.
Kasi parang ngayon lang natin to nakikita. In the past impeachment trials naman po, hindi naman nagkakaroon ng ganitong proseso. So, ibig nyo pong sabihin, dapat mas maging decisive at mas maging, siguro, umaksyon ang Senate Impeachment Court in relation to these issues.
Yes, I think so. Siguro kaya ang nakapagpabagal dito is the fact that this is unprecedented. First time na nag-cross from 19th Congress to 20th Congress. At nagkaroon siya ng mga legal implications. First time na VP ang ini-impeach. So, unique yung set of conditions dito. Kaya ang dami tuloy mga tanong na hindi agad-agad masagot kasi yung mga past rules, wala namang, hindi naman na-cover yan in-address.
Well, coming from this impeachment po, sinasabi ni VP Sara na, of course, this is all political because she's a front-runner sa 2028 elections. And of course, ito nga ang research firm na Tangere, sinasabi niya nga doon na it's indeed true na si VP Sara is leading the list of potential presidential candidates in 2028 with 35%. And former VP Leni Robredo is ranking second with 19%. Sa tingin mo ba, sir, ito na ang tatakbuhin ng ating political arena sa susunod na mga taon, whether or not matuloy or matapos itong impeachment trial ni VP Sara?
Well, siguro masasubstantiate lang yung claim niyan if yung mga subsequent survey results, although malayo pa yung 2020 elections. Pero kung magkakaroon ng mga periodic na survey results and these results are going to build a pattern or trend showing that she is the front runner, may substance yun. Ngayon, kaya niya kiniklaim that she is the front runner is that gusto niyang ma-substantiate din yung kanyang narrative that all of these things are being done against their family, her family, kasi siya yung kumbaga man siya na yung susunod na presidente. And this is called political persecution, according to her. So, subjected daw yung kanyang family sa political persecution. Now, ang tanong, meron bang, nangyayari ba talaga to? Yung kanyang claim, posible mangyari. If you look back to our history, there was one instance na similar to what's happening to her. Yung case ni former Vice President Jojo Binay. Ganun din yun. He was the front runner. He was expected to run as president, one of the contenders for the 2016 elections.
Tapos ending, natalo siya.
Natalo siya kasi ang claim niya, mayroong demolition job against him, yung mga corruption cases.
Okay. Anyway, sir, before we let you go, itong Australia kasi, bagong balita lang, yung Australia, it refused daw po itong inihingi na interim release, na sila yung mag-host ng interim release nitong si former President Duterte. So, ano tingin nyo? Saan tutungo ito?
Well, I think nagbigay na yata ng statement ng Australian government na they are not interested. They are not interested. They do not want to they do not want to meddle in the affairs of the ICC, and they will let the ICC decide on this matter.
Okay. So magpapatuloy yung paghahanap nila ng pwedeng mag-host ng interim release?
I think so. Kasi alam mo yung Australia is, even though tahimik lang itong bansa na to, this can be considered as one of the champions of democracy. Oo. Ngayon kapag inarbor nila yung halimbawa, yung ganyan, yung may ganyang kaso, this will go against their international image.
Alright, ang bilis tumakbo ng ating 30 minutes. So thank you very much po, political analyst Dennis Coronacion. And that's On Point. Join us again on Monday at 7:30 p.m. here on BNC, the Billionaire News Channel. I'm Gerg Cahiles. Thank you for watching.